And now we are ready.
Okay, hello everyone. I hope you are all doing good. As you all know me, I'm Eston, but I'm using the username El Maestro because it's what I use in my most of my social media accounts. Uh, and welcome to all those who are streaming live on YouTube. So today we are going to discuss on is the topic of are atheists more intelligent than religious people? Yeah, are atheists more intelligent than religious people? But before now we delve into it, first you have to know what is the meaning of intelligence. Yeah? If I say I am intelligent, what do I mean? Or if I say that person is intelligent, does it mean, or what does this person possess? So you can raise your hands if you have an answer. Mm. Yes, Muriuki.
Okay, thanks. I think for me it means he has wisdom and he knows what he talks about. Yeah, so it's wisdom and knowing what he or she talks about. Yeah, thanks.
Before you go, knowing what someone talks about, like someone can be talking about football. He knows about football, but does that mean he's intelligent? He knows what he's talking about. Does that
Okay,
mean he's intelligent?
okay. He or she has facts. They know their facts well. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
They have facts.
There are facts for everything. There are many things. But okay, I
Yeah.
understand you.
You know, and also you can't fool him or her. You can't fool them easily. You can't fool them in their field.
Okay.
You can't trick them. Yeah.
Oh, okay. You can't. They're not easy to fool. Okay, that makes more sense. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Mm.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Muriuki. What about Chilwell?
So I think there are many theories of intelligence. So, for example, a lot of people will talk about IQ, others will talk about fluid versus crystallized intelligence, and others will talk about the nine types of intelligence. But the intelligence I think is most relevant to this discussion is philosophical intelligence, because I believe atheists are more, in general, are more philosophically intelligent than
Yeah.
religious people, because you can have people who are still very intelligent traditionally, like based on
Yeah.
those other metrics, like people who are engineers, people who are doctors. And to be a doctor, you need top grades. And I believe most doctors, if not a large majority, are in Kenya, are religious. And yet you can have someone else who maybe doesn't even finish high school or university, but philosophically they're intelligent enough to become an atheist. So I think, yeah, philosophical intelligence is the most relevant here.
Okay. Thanks, Chilwell. And Dorcas,
Okay, remind me, which question are we answering?
the definition of intelligence. What it means for someone to be intelligent.
Okay. Before referring to the dictionary, because I wrote down the dictionary definition, when I hear the word intelligent, I think of someone that's smart, someone who has a lot of knowledge and they know
Yeah.
how to apply it. I remember when I was telling my friends most of my friends are believers or agnostics, if I can call them that loosely. And I was telling them that there are so many intelligent people in our group. There are so many intelligent people. They have diverse subject matter knowledge, and they are able to answer difficult questions about life. So, yes, you know, when someone is smart, that guy is smart. That one is not smart. That one is dumb. Sorry to use that demeaning word. It's the opposite. You know what we are saying when we are using those words. So that's my general understanding. But then when I look at my dictionary, it is a bit more specific. It says that intelligence is the ability to learn from experience, to adapt to, shape, and select and select environments. I think I didn't write that one properly. Okay, let me read another definition because there are so many. Hopefully that one is more coherent. The ability to acquire, understand, and apply knowledge and skills to solve problems, adapt to new situations, reason, and make decisions. So, knowledge is a keyword in defining intelligence. Then, applying that knowledge is also another aspect of it. And you're applying it to do what? You're applying it to solve problems. You are applying it to make decisions, to reason, and to adapt to new situations. So that is the understanding. And as Chilwell said, there are several types of intelligence. I don't know. I don't know about the one he's talking about, philosophical intelligence. I don't know whether he created that one, but there are common ones. There are common ones that academics have created or have categorized us into. The most basic one is intelligence quotient, IQ. That one assesses your ability to use logic, to respond to mathematical situations, word skills, to reason, and to recognize patterns. It actually assesses your cognitive abilities. That's IQ, and it's the
Yes,
most.
you have 30 seconds.
Okay, it's the most common. The others are social quotient, social intelligence, emotional intelligence, and even adversity intelligence, where we assess your ability to deal with adverse situations and bounce back. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dorcas. I think the definition you gave, it's the same one that I also have with me here, where is ability to acquire knowledge, learning from experience, adapt to new situations and effectively use thought. I like to focus on that thing of effectively use thought. Effectively use your thought. It means I think if you dig deep, it means to think critically. Because yes, you can be thinking, but your thinking is not critical. If you are not if you do not use your thoughts critically, I think your intelligence is that is not somehow intelligent of someone if they are not their thoughts are not critical or effective, or because you can use your thoughts, but if it's not critical, it's not effective. And the next thing is why does it matter? I mean, why do you think being intelligent matters, or being intelligent does not matter to you? Hmm? Does intelligence matter? Yes, Muriuki. Why does it matter being intelligent?
For me, what I'll say, like for atheists, in terms of religion, in that only, I think we're more intelligent than other people, than the religious. Only in that, not other fields. Just in the part of knowing there's no God. Only that, and of course, it's important because now once you know there's no God, you can't be tricked by a pastor or somebody religious. So for that part of religion, I think we're more intelligent, and it's important because you can't be played with. No one can play our minds the way Christians or other people are played with by the religious leaders. Yeah, thanks.
Okay, but outside religion, does being intelligent matter outside religion? Let's say, of course, now you are outside. You cannot be tricked by your pastor. Now you are with others outside. Leave alone now being in church. You are outside in this world. What how why does it matter now to be how more effective you use this intelligence outside this religious setting? Because I think
Well,
it's
again,
that was my question. Why does it matter? Yeah.
yeah, I think basically, and no one can mess with you easily. No one can mess with you if you're intelligent. Yeah, you can't be
Okay.
manipulated easily. No manipulation. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. To a certain extent, that is true. If you are intelligent, being someone manipulating you, like I see these people who I've never totally found out if it is true or false, but I highly doubt it is true. These people who do forex and they start saying that I hold forex classes. I don't know. For me, they are manipulators, and if you are intelligent, you know they are just looking for people who are desperate. I don't know who. Let, let's hear from Chilwell.
You can let Deva speak since he hasn't spoken.
Okay, let's hear from Deve first.
Thank you, Chillwave. Hello, everyone. Thank you. That was gentle of you. I am always very patient. I can wait. But thank you for I will take it. No guy has ever opened the door and I did not hold the door. And I did not want to say thank you and just accept the door to be held for me. Thank you. The question that you are asking is, I just want to rephrase it to be sure that I understand that it is important to be intelligent, even out there. Forget about church-related things, but that it is an advantage to be intelligent. Is that the question?
Yes, yes. Why does being intelligent matter?
Yes, thank you. That is more straightforward. Being intelligent matters because in life, the situations that we find ourselves in, they require somebody that can look at a situation globally. Even if you have never seen this thing, you have to be able to see it globally. Let us say an animal comes out of the bush somewhere. You have to be able to look at that animal globally very quickly and decide which way you are going to run and how fast you are going to run. Globally, very quickly, you have to be able to make that decision very quickly and take action for your survival, for the next move. It might not just be a life and death situation, but it could just be the situation. What are you going to do about which school you are going to take your child, which hospital, when, how soon this situation needs to be sorted. That is what I'm talking about. And that, as we have seen, requires that you are able to learn quickly, whether from experience or just you look at it and you use your intuition, and you have to reason, apply your reasoning capacity, capability, and you apply it quickly. And if you have to adapt, sometimes you have to adapt to a totally new behavior. Go seek for new learning to adapt to a certain new situation. and then you have to be able to solve to solve that problem. And that one is our daily, that is every day. Every day you are doing that, even if we are sometimes doing it without knowing, but sometimes we are doing all those at the same time, because we are solving problems every day. And therefore, yes, it is important. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for that elaborate explanation, Ndeve. Of course, it matters. It really matters. Chilwell, you can go next.
Thank you. So you see,
Yeah.
part of a subset of intelligence is rationality. And you can say there's two types of rationality. There's instrumental rationality, and there's also epistemic rationality. So epistemic rationality is basically about maximizing true beliefs and minimizing false ones. So it's about trying to ensure you have an accurate worldview or accurate model of the world, whereas instrumental rationality is focused on how do you achieve your goal, right?
Yeah.
So when it comes to the question of whether someone is to be a Christian or an atheist, that's a question of epistemic rationality. But when it comes to like how to be a Christian or how to be an atheist, that's instrumental rationality. So the thing is,
Okay. Yeah.
someone can be very good at instrumental rationality, but if they have weak epistemic rationality, then it's going to spill over and they won't achieve their goals as effectively. So, what do I mean by that? It's very possible that someone could be a good businessman and also a Christian. And I think everyone in this group here believes that religion and Christianity is irrational. Therefore, some of his irrational beliefs about Christianity or some of the logic he uses that lead to his irrational beliefs in about Christianity could also spill over into his beliefs about business. So in that regard, yes, he might be successful, but had he had more epistemic rationality, it would further have bolstered his instrumental rationality. So therefore, the reason it's important to be intelligent is because it is two main reasons. One, it tells you the right goal to have. So, for example, um, rather than just following the Bible, someone can adopt a secular moral view of the world. So, when it comes to things like abortion and women's rights and all of that, and accepting gay people, someone can have the right goal. That's one. And two,
Yeah.
they can have the right means to achieve that goal. So that's now the instrumental rationality.
Okay. I've not heard of the instrumental or epistemic rationality for a long time, but at least you explained it very well. Uh, let's hear from Dorcas.
I believe, let me try and turn on my video. Yeah. I believe most of the points I was going to make have been made by Chilwave and Ndeve.
Yeah.
And even
Okay.
Moriki. And even Morioki.
Okay.
It is important for you to be intelligent in this life because it will protect you from manipulation. Somebody will come to you and tell you that if you do 1, 2, 3, you're going to make money, and they don't have the backing, they don't have the evidence for it. If you're not an intelligent person, you are likely to fall for it. So it has a protective effect. It's also very effective at making better decisions and adapting to new situations whenever they arise. For example, if let's say you are in a certain industry and things are not looking up as they used to, maybe you used to have a lot of clients, you no longer have that many clients because of some environmental factor, or maybe a technology has come up which is doing the work that you are doing. A person that is intelligent will easily adapt to that situation because they'll use the vast knowledge they have about different industries to either alter the product that they're offering or switch to another one. But someone who lacks intelligence will be stuck in that situation. They'll be stuck in the past and they won't be able to adapt easily. So intelligence is, by and large, is important. Now that is on a general basis. I know you said besides the religious aspect, but I think we are having this discussion on why intelligence matters within the atheist versus religious context, because it will actually tell you which side is more rational. Is being religious rational? If it tends to have a lot of intelligent people, then maybe they can use that as an argument that it is rational. But if the atheist side tends to have people who are more intelligent, then we can also use that as an argument that it is a logic-based belief.
Yeah.
Of
Okay.
course, those ones are not directly related. I think we'll address this in the final question on our conclusion. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much for your contributions. I actually wanted to add that, okay, apart from, outside the religious setting, of course, we all know if you are intelligent, you won't be conned. Like, if you see someone is a follower of Prophet or is someone who attends the church of Pastor Anga, you automatically know this person is not intelligent, because people who just pastors or these prophets who openly know they are just there for the money of their congregants, and yet someone who claims to be intelligent is still attending this church, and they believe this guy, he heals HIV/AIDS. There, no, but now outside there, in the now outside the religious settings, things to do with the financial vulnerability, where you cannot be easily conned. When you are intelligent, you cannot be easily conned. You have a strong problem solving skills, and like if you are intelligent, your problem solving skills will be weak. Yeah, those are the points I also wanted to add. And now, since I think we can, to this point, we can agree that atheists, we are more intelligent than Christians, even if there's a thin line between pride and intelligence, and people like to jump rope. But to this point, you can agree that. But now, we are saying, if atheists are more intelligent than Christians, why do we have religious geniuses? But I had to touch on that. But before that, I know most of us here are former Christians, if not all. I don't know if Chilwe, you are a Christian before you became an atheist. But I wanted to you, you can answer this question. You can answer these two questions, both of them. Uh, yes, when you are a former Christian, when you are a Christian, and when you are an atheist now, do you think you become more intelligent when you are an atheist, or you became less intelligent? If you ask yourself this question, you can know. if religion makes you less intelligent, or if religious people are less or more intelligent than atheists. Oh, I think I've even answered the question, but no, I've answered the first question. The second question was if atheists are now more intelligent than religious people, why do we have religious geniuses? Like for me, you all know I'm a fan of football, and I'm a fan of the footballer you call Messi. This guy, he's a genius. When I watch him play football, I just see this guy is a genius, but he's a Catholic. And when I hear some of his interviews, he says that I don't know, God is the one who did who made this possible, but I tend to disagree because whatever he does on the pitch, he does it because he's a genius. But maybe we can answer why, if atheists are more intelligent than religious people, why do we have religious geniuses? Maybe you can start with the Papsi.
But before that, Eston, do you confuse talent to be a genius? Like you are mistaking between talent and
Okay.
genius.
Hey, okay, yes, there's talent and you know, but okay. So you think he's not a genius, but he's a talent. But when it comes to football, he's a foot. Okay, maybe I'm confusing talent and genius. Okay. Sano, you don't think he's intelligent? He's just you don't think he's a genius? He's just talented.
Yeah, for me, it's just a talent, and it's more talented
Okay.
even than Cristiano Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo try a
Yes.
lot. We work hard for him to shine,
Yeah.
but for Messi, it's because of
Yes.
the biological nature.
Okay. Okay, I get you. I get you. Maybe let's hear from Papsi then.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. So let me start by saying that one, I'm a fan of football and I know a lot about two goats. So one goat is Messi and another one is Ronaldo. But the one goat that I love the most is Ronaldo. And why? It's because Messi comes off as someone who is very talented, like it's inborn, like he doesn't have to struggle to become who he is, to become way better than everyone else at football. And then you have Ronaldo, who is like a very intelligent guy, but when you combine his hard work and his, like, everything he does, he seems so committed, and then he gets to be at the level where Messi is at. So if I was to choose a genius between the two, I'd go with Messi. But why do I choose Ronaldo is because we see with having a talent, it's kind of innate. It's innate to you. That means that's how you are hardwired. So Messi is kind of hardwired to do what he does. He doesn't have to struggle. He can relax for a full year and then comes back and do what he does. But for Ronaldo, he has the basics and he has every other thing. But for him to be at a level where Messi is at, he has to train. He has to do a lot of hard work to be there. And then there's kinds of I don't know, comes up with a debate where we are going to have a difficult discussion on who is better than the other, but who is better than the other does not really say who is smarter than the other. This is so opinionated, but again, I said I chose Ronaldo So now take this opinion and put it into other contexts. So we have people like Albert Einstein, we have people like Newton, Mozart, we have people like Da Vinci, you have people like what do I put? Schrödinger, the one who came up with the famous and then you're left with a conundrum because you have to pick what makes up a smart person. Is a smart person the one who is innately born with a thing so that they don't have to struggle? They have to have, I mean, all they have to do is to be exposed to a certain environment. And then based on the way they are, anything that comes at them makes them better. But then there's someone else who has to struggle a bit. Someone has to be very intentional at becoming better at something. Then you're left with a huge conundrum at choosing who is a smart person. Now that aside, um,
You
as a
doctor, you had 1 more minute.
okay. Okay, so I don't know if I'll be able to make my claim with that 1 minute, but I'll try to. So you as a thing that I believe based on the people that I've met, the people that I've debated with and that kind of things, I'd say atheistic people are very much I'd say more smarter than the average person. Why? Because it takes a bit of gut for you to question some things, the things that you grew up believing in. And if you were to go to psychology and say what would make a person question something relative to someone who would see a different data to what they believe in and say, nah, I think I'm gonna push that away or try to justify whatever it is, then you have to be someone who is very willing to absorb new data, be uncomfortable with the new data that you're receiving, and even if it's something that you don't agree with, even if you try to say that I don't believe in this, but at the back of your head, it's something that is not so conscious, in that you don't actively think about it, but in your subconscious mind, you're going to think about it. It could be you don't know that you're thinking about it, but that's what our subconscious is about. So I'd say atheistic people are not very smarter than everyone, but they are way ahead in terms of what we
Yeah.
define as what would say makes up people have high IQ and the rest. So then the
Okay.
rest, so I'd say atheistic people are way smarter.
Yeah. Okay.
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 I'll
Thank
make
you.
my
Okay. Thank you for that long contribution, Papsi. But I think the question in hand, I think you didn't elaborate it well. It was if atheists are more intelligent than religious people, why do we have religious geniuses? People who are they are a genius. You know, a genius person is someone who displays things that are or maybe I can just quickly look at the definition of a genius. A genius is an individual who possesses an exceptional high level of intelligence or an unprecedented creative power and a unique capacity of original and breakthrough achievements. So let's just stick with someone who shows an exceptional high level of intelligence and creative power. We have Christians or other people who are religious who display high level of intelligence. So if atheists are more intelligent than Christians, why do we have such people?
Can I answer that?
Was the yes. Maybe you can answer that in 30 seconds.
Okay, so I know of someone who I regard as highly intelligent. In fact, I'd say he's a genius, and he's a Christian. I'd say it's someone called William Lane Craig. He's an apologist, so he's a Christian, but he tries to argue for Christianity in a very logical way. And I've listened to his arguments. I've actually seen him go toe to toe with some of the four atheistic horsemen. And I say what makes him better at what he does is the psychological underpinning behind what makes him to be what he is today. That means it has to do with everything other than reason, a reading, knowing stuff and knowledge. So it's not something that is when you are born, you are tabula rasa sort of, but then you get to read, experience the world and that kind of thing. So for him, it's not about the ability to reason, the ability to read stuff, the ability to internalize, the ability to philosophize. For him, it's about the experiences that he has had in general compared to the specific things we say that this is what makes an IQ. I know it's kind of complex,
Okay.
but I need to elaborate later.
Okay, thank you for your contribution, Papsi. Let's hear from Ndeve.
Thank you, El Maestro. Now, when we ask ourselves why there are religious geniuses, I want to say that the good thing about intelligence and the capacity to be intelligent is not choosy. Because I consider intelligence as a muscle that the more you exercise it, the more intelligent you get. If you don't exercise it, then you don't develop that muscle. And what can interfere with the development of intelligence? This is where we are going to find out if those religious people are gifted or are not gifted, if they just have a talent, if they are talented or they are intelligent. This is now where we need to go into. And probably this is where I'm going to disagree with everybody. And not because I'm arrogant, but because I am saying, are we calling just talented people intelligent? Let me now give an example. I'm going to give an example of a doctor who tells me, I treat you, but God heals. I am going to run away from that doctor. You know what that means? That person has been given the instruments available today to treat and heal me. And now he abdicates his duty to the unseen. Well, fortunately, I only hear those things in Kenya. I have never heard my doctor here telling me that God heals. Because there he gives me, he tell me for blood work or whatever. He does. He uses all the instruments that are available. But another doctor tells his patients that God heals. Are you hearing are you hearing an intelligent person, or you are just hearing a talented person? Somebody who was able to be taught anatomy and understand anatomy, who was taught all these things and was able to remember, to understand, and be able to apply. But here he is because of faith in the unseen. Somebody who was always trained with a skeleton and with all these things which are all seen. Now he abdicates his duty to the unseen. Are you hearing intelligence, or you are just hearing somebody who is talented? Fortunately, and I'm sorry, Luvcheveleli, if you are there, fortunately, you will never hear an engineer telling you that we hope that God will make this building stand, or we hope that the flow in this pipe will continue tomorrow, because they cannot abdicate it to anybody else. Only a doctor can abdicate. Because if you die, the doctor will say, God, it was God's will. But nobody, an engineer cannot tell somebody tomorrow that, oh, geez, the flow in that pipe, it was not my problem, it was God's problem. You can't do that. So now, guys, you are now going to be able to see talent and intelligent. And then you will be able to ask yourself, are there any religious geniuses? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ndeva. Even me, if I hear my doctor telling me that, or any doctor telling me that we treat but Jesus heals, I'll I'll run away. I'll take my money back and run away. Or I'll just let my body heal itself. Okay, let's hear from Rashid. Rashid has not spoken. Let's hear from Rashid.
Hope you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you. So I wasn't sure I was going to talk about intelligence and artists, but I would probably mention two things. One, I would maybe try to separate both atheism, or for that matter any religious view, with being intelligent, based on how people have been. I've heard from two people so far, and how I would say it is, intelligence, I would say, is means, or I would say means how your brain works. If I could put it into one word, how your brain works, and it's different from any other view. For example, if I'm talking about a belief from a God, that would come from maybe your culture, your family, your personal experiences, but not how smart you are. So I don't think it has anything to do with atheism or any other person. So if I am looking at a doctor who is religious and also intelligent, I'm looking at how their brain works. And when now they pull in their, I'll treat you and then God heals, I'm now looking at their culture, their family, their personal experiences, their views, other than from how smart they are or how intelligent they are in other ways. That's all.
Okay, thank you, Rashid. And we can hear from Muriuki. Muriuki?
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. I think, like you mentioned, I think for Messi, we have to separate between football and religion. So him being a Catholic has nothing to do with him being a good footballer. So there, I think we should be careful. There's football and religion. So he's a Catholic maybe because he grew up in a Catholic home, but that has nothing to do with him playing football. Yeah, thanks.
Okay, but then you've not answered why are there religious geniuses, leave alone the football or talent?
Yeah, because and Master, we have to separate religion and, like, if he's a good doctor, that can't compare with religion, because a religion is
Okay.
about belief, belief and comfort. You know, religion brings comfort, so you won't think because it's so comfortable,
Okay.
you can't leave it. Yeah, but now in other things, I think there's a big difference between religion and like business and other things. It's on religion is on another level. Yeah, thanks.
Oh, okay. Thanks. I understand. Now let's hear from Chilwell, then Dorcas.
Sorry for interrupting.
Yes,
Can we?
Tano?
I think we can use an example like our lawyers. The lawyers are very smart in arguing a case, but you find they are religious. For example, like Imaraga, among others.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. Thank you,
So,
Stano.
so Neil deGrasse Tyson said that only 7% of elite scientists are religious. So 93% of elite scientists are not religious. And essentially, the number of scientists that are religious has been shrinking. This goes for majority of academic fields. So if you were to go back to, like, let's say the 1800s or the 1700s, I'm sure you'd find that all the mathematicians, all the engineers, all the scientists would believe in God, but now that number is reducing. So uh, I think the reasons they have for believing is just personal reasons. And again, I would say a lot of them are not very uh, philosophically intelligent, in the sense that someone can be very good at mathematics, they can be very good at physics, but they don't necessarily have extremely nuanced views on philosophy. The same way someone can have very extremely nuanced views on philosophy, but they are not good at physics, or they're not good at chemistry, or they're not good at mathematics. So that's why initially with my description, I said that what's specifically talking about what I described as philosophical intelligence, which is basically how skeptical are you? How much do you avoid logical fallacies? How logically coherent are your statements? How introspective are you? Those are the things I would consider going into philosophical intelligence. Like, do you have the ability to take in counterintuitive principles or beliefs, right? So
Yeah.
that to me is the explanation as to why I believe that a lot of people, that first of all, the number of geniuses in traditional fields is shrinking,
Yeah.
that believe in religion is shrinking, but the reason they still exist is because I don't think they have enough philosophical intelligence. And then the other fields of genius, because I said that different types of intelligence, the other types of intelligence have absolutely nothing to do with religious beliefs. So, for example, kinesthetic intelligence, which is how good you are at physical tasks like dancing, cooking, riding a
Mm.
bike, wrestling, judo, boxing, that literally has nothing to do with your capacity to reason philosophically. Or someone who's good at making music. Making music has nothing to do with someone's religious beliefs. So yeah, that was my take. And then you had a question earlier where you're saying, does someone become
Uh,
more intelligent when they transition from being religious to being non-religious? And you also asked whether I was a
yes.
Christian before.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was a Christian up until the age of 19. I'm like 30
Okay.
now. So do they become more intelligent? Again, I would say it's maybe they become more knowledgeable, but knowledge can count as intelligence because, as I said, there's fluid and crystallized intelligence. And fluid intelligence is basically just your reasoning ability, like how you encounter new problems. But crystallized intelligence is basically the knowledge you accumulate through life. So technically, if you're using the definition of crystallized intelligence, then yes, they do become more intelligent because they have a more accurate view of reality, and they have a better understanding of how the world works. It depends on how deep you want to go in terms of defining what is knowledge. Like, does Christianity count as knowledge, or does the arguments for atheism count as knowledge? So, but basically, I think they gain more knowledge. But I'd also say, even amongst the Christians that end up being atheists, I say they have
Yeah.
different beliefs. Even when they were Christian, they had different beliefs. So, for example, like for me, even when I was a
Yes.
Christian, I never judged gay people. I would say that all of us are sinners, only God can judge. So I wouldn't judge anyone for sinning. I would basically believe that it's only God that can judge. And um, I didn't necessarily believe that only Christianity has miracles or anything like that. I think the main thing that kept me being Christian was mainly just Pascal's wager. So it's not that, oh, because the Bible says so and stuff like that. So even when I was a believer, I still had what I would call rational or reasonable beliefs given the information that I had, which is why I believe it's also very difficult to convert certain people to or deconvert them to atheism if they don't have the same religious positions on religion that you had when you were religious. So yeah.
Okay. Thanks. So in short, you became more intelligent after you became a Christian. We can hear from Dorcas lastly, then we go to there are two more questions we want to discuss. Yes, Dorcas, maybe if you can make it a bit shorter. I know it's difficult.
Yes, oh gosh. In
Mm,
fact, I was about to alert you on the time restrictions. Actually, members, if you are speaking, don't go past 3 minutes. Stop me, please, if I exceed my 3 minutes.
okay.
Why are there religious geniuses? One, because of compartmentalization. You can be particularly exceptional in a certain field, but outside that field, for example, Albert Einstein fell for a con man who took a substantial amount of his money, yet he accomplished all the things that he had in academia. Even Isaac Newton fell for the South Sea stock bubble. He said, I can predict the movement of stars, but not the minds of men. Another one is cultural limitation across history. You are not allowed to be an atheist. It was heretical. Your life could be taken away if you said that you are a non-believer. So at that time, given the limits of knowledge, they had to be believers. Another one is the God of the gaps fallacy, morality, consciousness, why the universe began. We don't have answers for those questions. So some geniuses crutch back to faith instead of saying they don't know. And finally, comfort in hard times. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for those points. I think I agree with them. And also, maybe I can say those religious geniuses, just like Chile was said, like only 7% of scientists are religious, or you say the intellect scientists. Only 7% are religious. That means that there's always an exception to the rule. There's always those exceptions. But no, now most of them are most of those geniuses who display high intelligence are atheists, or non-religious. But there's always an exception to the rule. And
I also wanted to add on to what Docker
okay,
said, that
okay, just
Nikola Tesla also got conned by Thomas Edison.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
it happens, yeah. So, and the last two questions was who is more likely to show overconfident?
El Maestro,
Yeah,
El
oh, you
Maestro,
had not spoken. Yeah.
I did,
Yes,
but
Neve.
somebody had mentioned that lawyers are able to argue cases in court. That is true. But just like doctors, if something comes, a lawyer is trying to defend you, and their religion and the law of the land clash, my friend, that lawyer will probably not stand on the side of the law, but they will go into the cocoon of their religion. So I would just say that no, that is not genius, because that's not somebody who is not practicing their talent, who is not practicing their profession as they should, just like the doctor who tells you that God will heal you. I was just trying to say how when
Okay.
we have to say that those people are genius, you need to see what they do when their religion clashes with the law that they practice. Remember, we have not been registered.
Oh. True.
Thank
Okay, thank you, Ndebe. I think most of them they are not intelligent after all. Maybe they just maybe some of us assume, these lawyers they display quite a high quality English speaking skills. So some may assume that they are geniuses, but they are not. They are just maybe more learned in academics, things like those. So I wanted to ask these last two questions. I know you should have finished at this time, but it seems we'll have to add 30 more minutes, Dorcas, so that everyone can have a chance to contribute, because this topic it's important. Number one, who are more likely between atheists and religious people, who are more likely to show overconfidence and no, overconfidence and yeah, I'll skip these two. I'll just touch on three. Between atheists and religious people, who are more likely to show overconfidence, lack of curiosity, and arrogance. Number one, overconfidence. Number two, lack of curiosity. And number three, arrogance. Between atheists and religious people, who are more likely to show these three traits. Lack of curiosity means they don't want their mind to be changed. It's impossible to change their minds. Who are more likely to show these three traits: overconfidence, lack of curiosity, and arrogance. We can begin with uh, let's begin with Papsi, maybe. Papsi, I hope you've understood the question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So I'll start by saying or try to put across my beliefs. And one belief that I have is that we don't have free will. That means that from my point of view, the fact that we are here, the moment that you, El Maestro, were born or I was born, we were meant to be here either way. How action and reaction works, or how the causality theory works, we were meant to be here. And if you're to rewind time back to when we were all born, everything that happened, every decision that you made, you'd still make those decisions to be where we were. So first claim is that anyone who we would look at and say this person is above average in terms of intelligence, and then it's not because of their choosing, it's because of how nature works. And we are all subjects to nature. I mean, we all follow all the laws of physics. So be it classical physics or quantum and all that kind of shebang, then we're all here because of that. I'd say that Wait, what was the question again? Can
Between
you hear me?
atheists and religious people. Yes, yes, I can hear you. The question was between atheists and religious people, who are more likely to show one, overconfidence, two, lack of curiosity, and three, arrogance.
Nice. So, given what I've just said, the second claim would be that it has to be the religious people. And why? Tied back to what I've just said, is that how the human brain works, or how I'd purport that how this is how we all work, is that one, we have a sense of trying to ascertain how nature works so that we can be, according to evolution, be safe. So we want to be sure about the environment where it's safe, be it to be either sociologically, psychologically, or biologically, and that kind of shebang. We want to be safe. So we want to make sure that how we see the world is how exactly it is. But if it turns out that how we see the world is not what it is, given that
Is he still talking?
I think
Oh,
perhaps
I
we've
hope it's
lost you.
mine.
and when you give it data, it essentially take that data as truth. So if, yes, hello,
There's a
can you hear me, guys?
just you are being, yeah, right. I can hear you, but there's a point where it went 10 seconds. We could not hear you.
Okay. So what I was trying to say is that how AI works and how our brain works is so the same. And once you know this as truth, is that when you give an AI data to make it have knowledge, and to give you an example, if you say 1 + 1 is equals to 2, maybe 10 times it will take that as truth. But then if you give it, let's say 7 times 1 + 1 is equals to 3, and 1 + 1 is equals to 2, it will take the other one, that 1 + 1 is equals to 2, 1 + 1 is equals to 3, as the truth. So what we do is that we give it a lot of accurate data, and then you test it with a lot of inaccurate data to find out if it knows the truth. But then that means it is
Okay.
at the mercy of the people who are providing
One more
data.
minute.
And that is the same with how human beings are. So for us humans, we always interact with our immediate environment. And given that for someone who has been brought up as a Christian, went to a Christian church, went to a Christian school, or where majority of the people are Christian, then they'll take that as truth. And if the majority of the data that they learned was that Christianity is true, then they have all the ability and all the right to be so confident and be less curious about any other thing, because as human beings we are people who are trying to predict the next thing. We are prediction machine, how our brain works. And given
Okay, thank
this,
you. Perhaps your
yeah.
time is up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe we can hear from Muriuki. Then we go to Ilweb. Muriuki?
Thanks. I think for me, what I'll say, not wanting to change is the ones who are religious because of the comfort the religion provides. So a person who's religious wouldn't want to change. So they want to stick to that comfort. Then confidence, I think atheists, because we have like science, we have evolution, we have evidence. Then arrogance is both. Yeah, thanks.
arrogance is both. Why do you think it's both and not one?
Yeah, because religion, they'll tell you about God, about Jesus, how Jesus loves them, how God loves them, and then stick to that. Then again, atheists will say, we have evidence that there's no God, prove there is God. So there they'll both be, because a person who believes in God will look for also evidence to prove God is there. Then an atheist will also say, look for evidence to prove there's no God. So there they'll both be arrogant, in my view. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Muruki. Let's go to Ndeve, then Dorcas.
I think Dorcas had a hand before me, so she can go on. Thanks.
Oh, okay. Dorcas, you can go on.
Mr. Moderator, I still have a bone to pick with you. Aki, 30 minutes is a lot. Please try and rush
Okay,
people.
then. Okay, it's only you and Ndeve. Then we go to the last question and we finish.
Yes, and when people are talking, Aki, please stop them after 3 minutes, please.
Mm.
Um, but we are learning as we go. I think 4 subtopics might be a stretch. Maybe in the future, moderators need to work with just 3 subtopics in order to keep the meetings within an hour. Okay, which one are atheists likely to exhibit, and which one are believers likely to exhibit? Maybe I have confirmation bias because I'm an atheist and I interact with a lot of believers, but overconfidence, I think, is on their side, especially if you are an agnostic atheist. If you are a Gnostic atheist, you might be overconfident. But if you are an agnostic atheist, you are like, I don't know if there is a God, but I live my life as though there is none. I lack a belief in a God, but I'm open to changing my mind if evidence is presented. That is not overconfidence. That is actually intellectual humility. But with believers, you've often heard in debates, what would it take to change your mind about God? And many of them say nothing. Nothing will change my mind. Mimi na Yesu tutabaki hivi. Sitawahi muacha huyu Yesu wangu. So I see that a lot with them. Lacking curiosity or willingness to adopt or to consider new ideas. Obviously, atheists are more open-minded because it takes that kind of critical thought in order for you to jump and make that leap. But you are still open to the possibility that something else can arise. And this one, I've seen it in terms of my beliefs on many other aspects of life. The things like euthanasia, things like spanking children. My ideas on those have changed ever since I became an atheist because I'm now more open to new knowledge without the limitation of dogma. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dorcas, for that. Maybe lastly, you can hear from Rashid. Okay, you can hear from Ndeve. I hope Ndeve you'll keep it short, and Rashid too, because we
Yes,
have
I
only
will
one
keep
more.
it short.
Yeah.
I will keep it short because most of the points have been covered. And the reason that I would say that both sides will exhibit a kind of arrogance because atheists have reason and proof on the one side. They are asking for proof on the one side. And the religious people, particularly the fundamental Christians, they have God on their side. So you can see where the arrogance would come from. How arrogance would arise from both sides. However, when it comes to open-mindedness and curiosity, it will be the atheist who will have the open mind and the curiosity because of the all of a sudden there's this curiosity. There are all of a sudden you have all these questions, and you are now exercising this muscle of curiosity, of questioning. You're looking for answers. That is where the atheist is more likely to be more open-minded, and the fundamental Christian will be closed-minded, because questions are not encouraged. It's as if your faith or your belief is not enough. You are going looking for things. That is there. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Ndeve. Rashid, I don't know if you can keep it in 1 minute.
Actually, 30 seconds.
Yes.
I wouldn't talk anything about confidence. I don't think I know anything about that. But on overconfidence, I would say I've seen it more on atheists. Simply because they would say, I'm backed by science, I can prove this, you can prove this. So for overconfidence, I'm giving it 100% on atheists. On ignorance, I would give it on both, as the other people have said, and they've went deeper into it. Ignorance on both. On the case of atheists, I would say you're scoring over your socials, you see anything religious, you've already have your guard out. This is about religion, has nothing to do with me. It's BS. You move on to something else. Even though I'm not saying there is anything important you can read, but you've already done away with it. On the part of the theists, you'll find they're ignorant. They'll have arrogance of you don't have proof that my God doesn't exist, or they would always go back to their Bible, whether it's truth or not. It's up to them. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Rashid. I think the only thing I can say is because our minds we are atheists because we had the curiosity, and that's why our minds were changed from religion to being non-religious. So that is it's clear who can be lacking curiosity between an atheist and a religious person. And last but not least, we can touch on what does research say, and you can give a conclusion. What does research say? But for me, the research that I found out is the research by Zuckerman. Zuckerman, and he said there is a negative correlation between religion and intelligence, and there is a positive correlation between intelligence and non-religious people. So, what about you? What do you think about this research, where it says there is a negative correlation between religion and intelligence? Remember, this is a statistic of large groups, not just individuals, large groups, and these statistics were done in 137 countries plus the 50 United States. The 50 states in the US. We can start with the who Santos up first. Dorcas, what do you think? What does the research say on your end? On this research is now on who is more intelligent, who is more likely to be intelligent between a Christian or a religious person and an unreligious person or an atheist. Yes.
Okay. I agree with you on the Zuckerman study. And apart from that one, there's another one. The Zuckerman study is very important because that was a meta-analysis. It looked at 63 other studies that were examining the relationship between religiosity and intelligence. And the numbers were highly in our favor that there is a negative correlation. There was another one I found by Nyborg Helmuth. I know I'm mispronouncing. It's titled The Intelligence Religiosity Nexus, a representative study of white adolescent America. Guys, I'm coughing. Let me.
I think you can go next to the
We can, okay.
Rashid
Maybe
and
Muriuki.
Muriuki. And you
Yeah,
can see
let's
we
start with
have
Muriuki.
Francis.
Thanks. She comes back. Thanks. For me, I think to conclude, I'll say, like for me, it's kind of intelligent for the people who are religious to believe in an afterlife because it gives them comfort. It's not true, but I saw like people, when people die, they still go to church, even if like somebody was shot there, the lady was shot, a doctor, she was shot, and they're still going to church to say it's God's will, whatnot, because it gives them comfort. So that's kind of intelligent that you lose somebody, but you have comfort that it's still okay. Yeah, you meet them again, or it's God's will or something. Yeah, so that's kind of intelligent to keep you going to keep you going after death. Yeah, thanks.
Are you sure that is intelligent, Muriuki?
For them, they move on. Yeah, it gives them, they carry on their life after these deaths, accidents, people have been shot, because they go to church still for a funeral. They go back to church for a funeral, they pray to God, and they bury the person still. So it gives them comfort.
Okay. No problem. Okay. Dorcas, maybe you can finish up on the other research that you found.
Yes, I have a cold, so the cough bouts can strike at any moment. Now, this one was published in Intelligence Journal, and they found when they compared atheists' IQ scores to agnostics that their points were 1.95 higher, then 3.82 higher than liberal persuasions, and 5.89 IQ points higher than dogmatic persuasions or religious people. So we are topping the charts when it comes to intelligence. Why is this so? Firstly, it's because to become an atheist, you need to be analytical. You need to look at the information that has been presented to you all your life, and then you need to deconstruct it. It takes a certain kind of mind. It requires intelligence. It requires you to go over and above what the general masses have been doing. Also, we tend to be nonconformists as atheists. You tend to be contrarian, and intelligence often resides in nonconformity because you're looking at a different way of solving a problem. So that essentially shows you that the atheist way of looking at things is in tandem with intelligence. However, I have to make a caveat. This does not mean that all atheists are intelligent. Sorry to say, in our group, there are some people who utter some really ridiculous statements, and I'm like, how did this person even become an atheist? How could they suspend that kind of stupidity before deciding that God is not real? So we do have some unintelligent atheists. And we also, as we discussed earlier, we also have super intelligent believers. Yeah. But in the general population, atheists are overrepresented in the intelligent category. That's my view, and thank you for all your contributions.
Okay, thanks a lot, Dorcas, and everyone who has contributed. I can see. I don't know if I should call it the lost sheep. Francis, is good to see you back. Maybe you can say hi and say some 2-3 things. Yes.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Sorry, I'm not I'm not really lost. I'm available. It's only that whenever
Yes.
you're having these meetings, sometimes I'm quite busy and I'm not able to attend to some of these things. But I do follow up and I know what's going on. Anyway, for the topic of the day, I don't know if I want to really contribute because number one is that there is no, I wouldn't say there is enough research on the topic personally. But what is out there is that, yes, averagely atheists look more intelligent than religious people. However, that said, as Dorcas said, there are very many still religious people who turn out to be super intelligent. I work with such people myself. They're intelligent, and sometimes you ask yourself, why are you intelligent and you believe in these things? But some people are, yes, they're intelligent and they're religious, but they're not really religious. They're more of agnostics. But at that level, you will find that person is has some contradicting information. So they choose to conform with the society because sometimes societal norms are more important to some people than their own thinking. So they would probably tend to become religious. Um, and at the end of the day, you wouldn't count them under atheists, and still they're intelligent. So that's the basic comment that I would give. I don't know what contributions you've brought in. I just came in a few minutes ago. But basically, that's my contribution for now. I've not done any research on the same topic, but yeah. And thanks. It's good to see all of you here.
Okay. Thanks, Francis. I hope you'll be joining us more often. It's a good thing that you attended and we hearing from you. So thanks everyone who contributed: Dorcas, Muriuki, Ndeve, Stano, Rashid, and Papsi has left. And thanks also for others who have attended and listened, because of listening, you learn more also, even if you also listen. Like also, I also do listen sometimes. So thank you very much, and I'll hand it back to Dorcas to say something about tomorrow's hangout.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Moderator, for that excellent session. We've learned a lot. I'm always happy to hear from people who have been missing in action. Once again, if you missed my announcement earlier, we are meeting tomorrow. All roads lead to Ngong Road Forest Sanctuary in Jamhuri. After you pass Jamhuri Estate, alight at War Memorial Cemetery or Kenol Kobil Stage, and then walk inward on a dirt road to the sanctuary. Please buy a large snack to share and carry your own drink. Entry fee, we had said it's 200 shillings. If there's any extra that we need to pay, we already have support from a member that donated. So thank you to that member that donated. I wish you guys a lovely night or afternoon, because some of you are joining us from Canada. Let's meet tomorrow for those who are in Nairobi, or next Saturday for those who are not in Nairobi. Bye.
Bye, everyone. See you.
Bye.